It's the pinnacle of downhill skateboarding and luge, the ultimate challenge against the tracks and the elements, the rain, the sun, the wind. It's a mecca for the best riders from around the world. Welcome to the 12th annual Kozakov race. This is the second round of the World Downhill Skateboarding Championship, the WDSC, the brainchild of UK-based race marketing and management and the World Gravity Sports Federation, bringing you a multi-event international series showcasing the gravity sport disciplines of downhill skateboarding and street luge in their purest forms. Kozakov, Czechia, is a veritable skating magnet that has hosted the world's best downhill skateboarders and luge riders almost consecutively for the last 12 years, the only break being 2020 and 2021 due to COVID. It follows what was a sensational round one at another iconic event, the Thermal Speed Tempo International Race in Monticiano, Italy.
Kozakov, after so many years, it always is the same feeling. It's feeling like being home. Everything is so good and so perfect, so I'm so happy to be here.
This place, a couple people said it's like coming home, like seeing everybody again, hanging out in the campground, going to the party tent, just catching up with everybody. It just feels like a big family reunion when you come back to Kozakov, and I'm really happy that I'm back here and that the race is still going.
It was a whole celebration in Kozakov as the season moved into top gear, with dozens of the world's best converging for a sensational weekend of downhill racing that included men's and women's downhill skateboard and street luge. Besides the racing action, there were parties, concerts, skateboard ramps, tattoo artists, and lots of great food, making Kozakov a celebration weekend. In this program, we bring you all the men's luge and women's stand-up downhill skateboarding action. The track in Kozakov is very challenging, not just in terms of the track itself, but also the weather conditions, which could shift from windy to sunny to rainy, all within the same day.
It's great. It's really great to come back. I think I watched videos of this track as a baby skater, learning how to skate, learning how to slide, and I was thinking that it was such a cool track. And to be here and to be the top qualifier for women today, it's really nice. It comes back full circle.
The big names in street luge were ready to battle it out in Kozakov with the likes of Mikel Echegaray of Spain, former world champion Colby Parks of Canada, Malaysian sensation Abdelmajzan, German talent Martin Witzigmann, and a host of talented riders from all over the world.
Personally, I like racing at Kozakov because Kozakov is a competitive track compared to the others. There are a lot of space. There is space to overtake. It's fun, it's fast. I think it's the best combination of everything for racing.
Pretty similar to what the expectations were for Italy. Maybe just stay close and you be smart more than just go as fast as I can and just stay in the draft and hope that the others jockey around each other and I'm able to take advantage of an opportunity.
I usually pull him in. It's like a fishing game. I get close and then he pulls away, I get close, he pulls away, I get close. So it's just like try to be right there. I don't know, the strategy is just to be right up there and hopefully put some pressure on it.
In the women's downhill skateboarding, the one to beat was Malaysian rider Grace Wong, who was joined by Belgian talent Jasmin Hanegraaff, Czech rider Mariana Machasna, German Miriam Weisschuch, and Austria's Anna Pixner.
I think it's a bit up in the air at the moment because the women they're all really fast, and if someone makes a mistake, someone else will jump in on that. So no strategy at the moment, maybe be faster than the rest, but again, we'll see what happens during racing.
Before the quarterfinals, the course was shortened on account of the rain, after which the riders went out for a training round.
Right now it's patchy in places, but the sun has come out, so it might get really dry really fast. So it might just be a sprint race, real fast without the fast bit at the bottom.
How does it affect for me? Yeah, a different tactic now because it's not the straights anymore. So we have to be really good at the start and get a good position for the rest of the shortened track. And yeah, in the end we will see.
The practice runs were not without drama, with a lot of tumbles and falls and accidents. In the first quarterfinal heat, it was Mikel Echegaray Diaz, Martin Witzigmann, David Frege, and Konstantin Weigl. The riders are off. Mikel Echegaray pushes off strong at the start, and he moves into the early lead, followed by Witzigmann second and Frege third. Frege and Weigl are neck and neck, pushing hard to move past each other in a fight for third. Mikel Echegaray opens the gap in the lead, with Martin Witzigmann giving chase in second. David Frege finds his rhythm and he manages to get past Weigl to secure third, but he still needs to get in the top two to qualify for the semi-finals. Running into the fourth corner, Konstantin Weigl finds the pace and passes Frege to snatch third from his French rival. Entering the last chicane, Weigl now moving up on Witzigmann. There's contact, Weigl falls back, Witzigmann holds on to second. But then David Frege collides with Weigl as Weigl drops to last place with Frege back in third. Mikel Echegaray takes the first quarterfinal heat win with a start-to-finish lead. Martin Witzigmann manages to join Echegaray in the semis. The second quarterfinal heat pitted Colby Parks, Juan Calvo, Amador Suarez, and Diego Gonzalez. The second quarterfinal heat is on. Great start from Diego Gonzalez as he kicks the heat off aggressively, taking charge early. Diego Gonzalez in first, Colby Parks in second, Amador Suarez third, and Juan Calvo fourth. Entering the third corner, Diego Gonzalez leads, but the Spaniard loses control on the straight, and he finds himself dropping to third as things get shaken up in Heat 2. The new leader, Canadian Colby Parks, with Amador Suarez now with a shot at a semi-final spot in second, given chase by Diego Gonzalez in third, and Juan Calvo bringing up the rear in fourth. The final chicane of Heat 2, Colby Parks has got it. He moves into the semis alongside the Heat runner-up Amador Suarez. Unlucky heat for Diego Gonzalez. He bows out in the quarters, as does Juan Calvo. The third quarterfinal heat had Andrei Ilic, Victor Lorente, and Julien Girardin. Victor Lorente has a great start. Good arm work from the Spaniard as he takes the early lead. But on the second corner, it's Andrei Ilic who snatches the lead from Lorente, and he never looks back. The heat winner is Andrei Ilic with Victor Lorente second, both riders booking their place in the semis. The fourth and final quarterfinal heat featured the exceptional Malaysian Abdul Majan, Dominic Pesta, and Ignacy Swiatkowski. Abdul Majan pushes his way off to a good start to take the lead out of the start gate. Dominic Pesta, Venezuela in second, with Swiatkowski third. Abdul Majan opened a strong gap with the other two riders, solidifying his lead to take the heat win in convincing style. Dominic Pesta managed to hold off Swiatkowski to take the other semi-final spot. The quarterfinal results, Mikel Echegaray and Martin Witzigmann go through from the first heat. Colby Parks and Amador Suarez take the semi-final slots from the second heat. Andrei Ilic and Victor Lorente book their places through Heat 3. And it's Abdul Majan and Dominic Pesta completing the 8-rider semi-final lineup. first semifinal heat had Mikael Echegaray, Colby Parks, Martin Witzigmann, and Amador Suarez battling it out for 2 final slots from this first of 2 heats. Echegaray pushes hard at the start and it pays off, the Spaniard leading proceedings early on. Martin Witzigmann also off to a solid start as the German rider takes second ahead of Colby Parks. Witzigmann and Parks are very close to each other, but Witzigmann holds off the Canadian for now. Amador Suarez has a poor start. He's struggling in 4th, but manages to stay in contact with the other 3 riders ahead. Echegaray is looking very comfortable in the lead, going strong. Colby Parks in 3rd. The Canadian is one of the favorites at Kozakov. Martin Witzigmann can afford no mistakes. But Colby Parks is making his move. Parks sneaks in through the inside there. The 2 are locked in a dead heat. Who will prevail? The 3rd corner may break the deadlock. Colby Parks manages to get past Witzigmann, and Colby Parks caps a brilliant run with 2nd position as Witzigmann now gives chase to the Canadian. Echegaray is comfortable in the lead, barring any mishaps. Colby Parks 2nd and Witzigmann racing hard to try and nab 2nd spot from Parks, but he's running out of track. Witzigmann going all out in pursuit of Parks. Can the German reclaim 2nd position? They go into the last turn. This is going to be very tight. The final chicane, Echegaray opens a huge gap. He's almost certainly got this, but the fight is still on for the 2nd final slot between Parks and Witzigmann. Colby Parks puts it all out there to hold on and stave off the German attack. Parks joins Echegaray in the finals as Witzigmann and Amador Suarez proceed to the consolation final. The first semi-final results, convincing romp by Mikael Echegaray and Colby Parks coming out on top after an epic race-long battle with Martin Witzigmann. The second semi-final heat, Andrei Ilic, Victor Lorente, Abdelmadzan, and Dominic Pesta vying for the final 2 slots. The heat is on. Victor Lorente off to another very strong start with some excellent arm work, pumping his way into 1st at the top of the hill. But Abdelmadzan is on the attack. Look out for this guy. The Malaysian prodigy builds that momentum with some smooth gliding and cool steering as he wrests the lead from Lorente. Into the 2nd turn, Madzan is looking solid, warding off all comers, but he can't afford any slip-ups. In the back straight, Andrei Ilic sneaks through deftly on the inside as the Czech rider tries to pass Victor Lorente. And just before the 4th corner, Andrei Ilic passes Victor Lorente to take 2nd as Abdelmadzan continues to lead. Into the last chicane, Abdelmadzan is in, but who will come in 2nd? Andrei Ilic still has Victor Lorente on his tail. Abdelmadzan in the finals, and it's Andrei Ilic who holds Lorente off to take the last remaining final slot. So, into the finals for Malaysian Abdelmadzan and Czech rider Andrei Ilic as Victor Lorente and Dominic Pesta move on to the consolation final. First women's stand-up skateboard semi-final heat had Grace Wong of Malaysia racing with Anna Pixner. This would be more of a training run as both riders would go on to the finals. Grace had a powerful start and a good smooth run, leading from start to finish as she and Pixner prepared for the title race. In the second semi-final heat, there were 3 riders, and only 2 would make the finals. The racers were Yasmin Hanegraaff, Marijuana Mashasna, and Miriam Weissschuch. Great start and good run from Mashasna, who moves into the early lead with Yasmin Hanegraaff in 2nd and Miriam Weissschuch 3rd. Mariana Mashasna very smooth on the curves, no mistakes. But before the 3rd corner, Miriam Weissschuch passed Hanegraaff to move into 2nd. A fall on the 4th corner pretty much sealed Hanegraaff's fate as she saw her chance at a final spot slip away. Mariana Mashasna takes the heat win and joins 2nd place Miriam Weissschuch in the finals. The final of the women's category at Kozakov. Who would be the queen of the hill? Grace Wong, Miriam Weissschuch, Mariana Mashasna, and Anna Pixner. The riders are off. Great start from Grace Wong. Powerful legwork as she pushes into the lead at the top of the hill, followed by Mariana Mashasna second, Anna Pixner third, and Miriam Weisschuk trailing in fourth. Anna Pixner falls before the first turn, and she's passed by Weisschuk, who moves into third. Seconds later, Mariana Mashasna also falls as Miriam Weisschuk finds herself in second, behind race leader Grace Wong, with Anna Pixner up again and passing Mariana to move into third. Grace leads, but the wet conditions are a huge factor, and that lead could disappear within a split second with just one little slip. Coming into the third corner, Grace Wong leading, Miriam Weisschuk giving chase to the Malaysian. But it's another fall for both Mariana and Anna, who collide. They get up quick and manage to continue, but the gap is virtually insurmountable now as they race for the third step of the podium. Here's that accident again from the POV camera. Mariana managed to outpace Anna Pixner to move into third. Grace Wong was first to the last chicane, but she had trouble managing her speed, hitting the hay barriers. Fortunately, she was back up and at it quick, and she held point in first. Weisschuk got through the last chicane in second, with Mariana Mashasna third. Grace Wong gets it! She is the queen of Kozakov! Good runner-up result for Miriam Weisschuk, with Mariana Mashasna third, ahead of Anna Pixner fourth.
I'm super happy about it. It was really tough because of the conditions. They are changing like out of sudden. So I'm super happy, especially when I'm here at home. So it's really good. And yeah, the girls were like rocking it. I actually didn't expect it.
It was interesting though, yeah. Like yeah, there were ups and downs, like emotional roller coaster style. Because first it was dry, then it got wet, then it got patchy, then it got dry again, it got wet again. So.
Oh, so excited. I think I mentioned in an earlier interview that, you know, I watched Kozakov races as a skate baby, you know, someone that was just new to the sport, so being able to actually take a win at Kozakov was really a dream come true, especially the turmoil of today with the rain, the sun, the patches. Oh, it's a good day.
The final results, Grace Wong reigns supreme in round 2. Podium finishes for Weisschuk and Mashasna. In the overall standings after Kozakov, it's Grace Wong on top, Yasmin Hanegraaff is second in the world standings, Miriam Weisschuk third, Livia Waldberger fourth, Mariana Mashasna fifth, Tamara Prater sixth, and Anna Pixner is in seventh. Only 3 riders would compete in the Consi final, Martin Witzigmann, Dominic Pesta, and Amador Suarez. Great start for Dominic Pesta as the Latin American takes the early lead. Martin Witzigmann is in second position behind the Venezuelan, and then it's Amador Suarez. Wet conditions out there on the track, and all 3 riders just want to end this race and event without any injuries ahead of the next round in Turkey. Martin Witzigmann loses control and he's overhauled by Amador Suarez, who moves up into second place behind Dominic Pesta. Pesta's still first, but he needs to go cautiously in the ever-slippery conditions as he tries to avoid a mishap. In second, it's Amador Suarez, and then in third, Witzigmann, who appears to really be struggling. But in the end, it was smooth sailing for Dominic Pesta as the Venezuelan rider takes the Consi final with Amador Suarez runner-up and Martin Witzigmann third. The final of the Luge at Kozakov. 4 riders left. Who will be the 2022 Kozakov King? Abdelmadzan, Mikhail Echegaray, Colby Parks, and Andrei Ilic representing the home country with local support behind them. And before the final, the rain made another appearance, which would make things even more interesting. Staying on the luge and off the asphalt will be half the battle. The final is on. Abdulmadzan makes an excellent start yet again, arms pumping as he takes the early lead at the top of the hill. Andrei Ilic also off to a strong start as he pushes his way past Colby Parks and into third position behind Echegaray, with Colby Parks fourth. Just before the first corner, brilliant attack from Colby Parks, who passes Czech rider Andrei Ilic to move up into third. Running very smoothly in first, race leader Abdulmadzan as he leads the finalists into the second corner. But that pavement is wet and slippery. Abdulmadzan just can't take the turn. The Malaysian hits the hay. He recovers quickly, but not quickly enough, as he relinquishes his lead to Michel Echegaray. The Spaniard is the new race leader. Abdulmadzan suddenly finds himself in fourth and last place with a lot of ground to cover, but there's still a lot of track left. The new race leader, Michel Echegaray, going strong with a good lead, but he knows he can't afford any slip-ups, and in these conditions, luck becomes a big factor, but he has to ride consistently and smoothly. At the fourth corner, Andrei Ilic closing the gap with Echegaray, the two riders locking horns with the Kozakov title at stake here. This could be an epic fight now until a finish line. The duel is also on behind them as two powerhouses, Colby Parks and Abdulmadzan, take each other on for third and trying to catch the two lead riders, but Colby Parks holds on to third for now. Echegaray maintains his lead over Ilic as the two lead riders open their gap over Abdulmadzan and Colby Parks. The final chicane, this will be tight as Andrei Ilic moves up and challenges Echegaray. Can he do it? Can the Czech rider wrest the lead and the win in these final few stretches? The two go head to head. It's a dead heat. Which rider will prevail? The battle for third is also very close behind them between Colby Parks and Abdulmadzan. And Andrei Ilic does it at the last chicane. This is sensational. The Czech rider, the local hero, the underdog, wins the 2022 Kozakov title as he passes Michel Echegaray in the very last straight by a mere half-board length. Sensational. In the equally close fight for third, it's Colby Parks who nudges ahead of the unfortunate Abdulmadzan, who will no doubt be ruining what might have been. A fairy tale ending for the local Czech talent, prevailing over huge odds here on home turf in front of the Czech crowds. What a final and what a way to end a sensational round two. Andrei Ilic is the last man standing, the Czech champion of Kozakov. Michel Echegaray runner-up and Colby Parks on the final step of the podium in third.
I was in fourth coming through through the first corner. Abdul went into the hay. I just missed him, and at that point Andre and Mikel were gone, so at that point I just had to try to preserve third, which I did, and the whole time I could see Andre up front and I could see him going for the win. I'm like, come on Andre, you can do it. It was great to see him win, and I'm so happy for him.
I'm so happy about getting second, getting into the podium, and that's it. It was a hard race because it was wet, then it dried, then was wet, and it wasn't easy to make this, but happy about the result.
I would never expect to be first at Kozakov because normally Mikel or Colby or other lugers are winning and they are world champions. And this is really great experience to be first, and I really love the moment where I overtook the Mikel in the last corner.
The overall standings in the street luge after Kozakov, it's Michel Echegaray on top. Abdulmadzan second, Colby Parks third, Martin Witzigmann fourth, Amador Suarez is fifth, Andrei Ilic moves up to sixth, David Frega seventh, Juan Calvo eighth, George Cheeseman 9th, and Julien Girardin completes the top 10. That brings a sensational round two of Kozakov to a close. See you in Cappadocia, Turkey for round 3.